Welcome to Curiosity Lovejoy. I'm Brett Nichols, your source for curiosity and practical ways to bring more love and joy into life. Today I'm filming and hopefully posting this on December 22nd, so I want to give a shout out to my friend Neil Washington. Happy birthday. I hope you're having a good one. Wish I was there to celebrate. I'm glad I got this channel up in time to give you a little shout out. So today I want to talk about the Lurianic Mythos. It's a creation story that comes to us from Rabbi Isaac Luria in the 1500s. I want to read out of Herbert Weiner's book, 9.5 Mystics. The protagonists of this drama are God, the cosmos, and man. The language used in relating the myth is not that of the usual storyteller. Indeed, if one were to attempt a visual abstraction of what takes place, one might begin with a blank canvas. But it is not really blank. It is a symbol of a universe coextensive with God. There is only God, nothing else. Then there is a movement. A space opens up, as if within God himself. It is as if God contracts himself. The result is an area empty of God. That is the first act of the drama, an act which is called tzimtzum, that is, concentration or withdrawal. The next act involves the re-entry of God into the empty space. Obviously, it will not be that kind of re-entry which restores completely the condition that existed before, otherwise the drama will cease. It is only a partial re-entry. A line or charge from the divine is extended into the empty space. This is the second step of the action called hitpashtut, and it is the opposite of the first act, the breathing out which succeeds the breathing in. Now something begins to happen in the space which was made by the withdrawal of God. What actually occurs is a subject for endless speculation on the part of the Kabbalists, but its result is a terrible catastrophe. Something which had just begun to be formed is shattered. The outer husks or shell of what has been formed is broken, and the inner light, the creative life charge of these emerging forms, is scattered in two directions. Some of this light, called holy sparks, returns to its source, that is upwards to the divine root of light, to God, but the other sparks are entangled with the shattered husks, which are called klipot, and fall with them. The divine harmony has been broken. Things are not in their place. This is the end of the third action, which sets the stage for the entrance of man. The tension of the action has now been established. The sparks yearn to return to their source and the husks to their place. Both want to be lifted to the root so that their primordial unity may be reestablished. The process of lifting the sparks to their roots is effecting a tikkun, or repair, and it is the task of man, a task in which all generations can play a role. Man must separate the sparks from the shells, free them from their imprisonment so that they can reascend. These sparks are embedded in all levels of creation, the mineral, vegetable, animal, and human. Thus, when man turns over the soil, he can release sparks in the soil to a higher level of existence in the vegetable order. In the same way, he can release the spark from the vegetable and embody it in a human being, a still higher level. Through his life and deeds, he can also enable the sparks in the body and soul of man to ascend to its root, which in mystical cosmology is identified with the image of a primordial man, Adam Kadmon. The process of gathering the sparks does not always go smoothly. There are moments when it is almost completed, and then comes another fall, another catastrophe. It is when the time for the great tikkun, the final redemption, approaches that there is the greatest danger. Why? Because this redemption involves the liberation of those holy sparks and shells which have fallen into the deepest abyss. The great tikkun cannot be completed without the lifting up of these sparks, for they are the holiest of sparks. Their very power has carried them the furthest away from their originating source, and the man who seeks to redeem them must descend into those depths where the power of darkness rivals the power of light. Here, the klippot, the husks, which come to symbolize the non-being element, have their realm of power, a terrible and difficult struggle which must take place at these depths, so far from the divine effulgence. It may be that man will have to use stratagems to prevail in these dark forces. He may have to fight with Satan, so to speak, on the latter's terms. He may even have to pretend that he is one of them in order to bring about the final act of freedom, and he may be himself caught in the abyss. So, apart from my stumbling over words, I hope those of you out there enjoy this reading. It's something I've gotten a lot of wisdom for my life, especially when we think about light and dark. It's hard to read, especially the beginning, and not laugh at the folly of patriarchy sometimes, like us always assuming and putting a male presence on God. I've always believed that those who think that that which created everything is male have never witnessed the beauty of childbirth. But especially in this reading, when they talk about God contracts himself, basically talking about a womb, and not realizing the feminine aspect of that. So that aside, and the whole wordage of the man and primordial man and Adam Kadmon, which is a wonderful image. Adam Kadmon represents kind of all of humanity, every human that has ever been, every human that will ever be, that primordial essence of all that is human in one entity. And through a lot of the mystic side of Judaism, that becomes very apparent. But also in the mystic side of Judaism, we have what is called the Shekinah, which is very much the divine feminine presence. And it's interesting that it doesn't get applied to things like this. But Isaac Luria was in the 1500s. So some time has passed since the original words in Hebrew, which Herbert Weiner translated this version that I'm reading from. So I hope you all like that. And Neil, if you made it to the end, that's incredible. I hope you have an amazing birthday, man. And to all those just getting to my channel, thank you.